ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our third webinar within Prague Inclusive Webinars. The name is Web 2.0 Tools in Inclusive Environment. My name is Tomas and I will be your guide throughout the whole webinar. This webinar was prepared as a part of our Grundtvig partnership. The project is called Inclusive, and what inclusive means, it is involving new communities of learners using socially inclusive virtual environments. So it's about social networks and how to cooperate with your learners to teach them something. We are broadcasting live on YouTube from center of Prague, from College of Media and Journalism in Czech Republic. So welcome, and let's have a look what the agenda of today. Our webinar is going to last at least an hour, but we expect it's going to be slightly longer. The schedule is, as you can see, the contribution from our Welsh partners, Zoom to Prezi.com, which is a presentation of collaborative software that is online and free for you to use. After that contribution, there will be a short discussion. You can post your questions for discussion on YouTube just below the stream you are just watching right now. After the short discussion, we will continue with the second contribution from Czech partners, that means us, about the learning management system, Moodle, and the presentation is called Levels of Online Courses, and we will introduce a concept of how to improve your courses by including social media into them. Then, of course, another short discussion will follow, and the session will close. I'd like to remind you that you can post your questions to the comment stream on YouTube the whole time, and we will pick some of those questions right into the webinar, and the rest gets answered once we are finished in a text form. All right, let's move on to our first contribution from Welsh partners. It's called Zoom to Prezi.com, and the presenters are Richard Speight, who is actually now in Wales. Hi, Richard.
Hi there, everyone. Good morning.
And Hayley Wood, who is actually just sitting next to me in Prague, and they will be showing us how to collaborate in Prezi on such a great distance. So please, a little while, and we will switch to Prezi.
Okay, just give me a second. Okay, are you seeing my screen there, everyone?
Which you...
Are you seeing my screen there?
And I'm handing over the floor to Hayley in Prague and Richard in Wales.
Okay, hi, good morning everyone. My name's Hayley and I am the Project Assistant for Connecting Learners, and I'm here in Prague today, but I'm going to be working with my manager Richard, who is back in the UK, and we're going to be presenting the first half of today's web seminar, and it's going to be all about online collaborative presentation tools. So I'm going to hand you over to Richard and we're going to make a start. So Richard, there you go.
Hi Hayley, Bore da pawb. Good morning everyone. This is the first part of the web seminar this morning, and it's about Prezi. So I just want to start talking about the tool that most people use to make presentations and share them online as well. And that's Microsoft PowerPoint. Now, Microsoft PowerPoint comes with almost all Microsoft Windows packages. If you get Office, then PowerPoint comes with it. And most of us are very familiar with creating and presenting using PowerPoint. Now, when we're presenting using PowerPoint, we use bullet points to set out the main points to guide the audience and actors and aid memoir to the presenter. We often show quotations where we put a paragraph of text on the screen, and we talk as a presenter while our audience reads along. This isn't necessarily best practice. PowerPoint can use photos. Here's a picture of the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, our national stadium. We use these photos with text alongside, and we can also import videos from files on a USB memory stick or hosted on our computer. So my conclusions about PowerPoint are that some people can design great PowerPoints using all the features available. We've seen some of that during the web seminars from Prague over the last couple of days. But most PowerPoints lead to a linear narrative where the presenter moves from slide 1 to slide 2 to slide 3 and so on. The story is told in a linear way, and there's no real opportunity to go back or to allow the audience to freely roam through the presentation at their own pace. We provide our audiences, when we're using PowerPoint, with paper handouts for reference and reviews, so it does allow them an ability to check back on themselves. But this isn't always a great way to engage audiences with new concepts or information. We call this sitting, watching PowerPoints, death by PowerPoint. I don't know if that's a phrase that travels beyond the United Kingdom, but certainly it's something that we're familiar with here. So how do we avoid this? There must surely be a better way. This guy in the audience here we see has fallen asleep watching a PowerPoint presentation, and but I think his friend here has a suggestion, which is that there is something better. It's called Prezi, and it zooms, and as you can see here, we can zoom out. And in fact, I wasn't showing you a PowerPoint presentation, I was showing you a Prezi presentation. So here we have an audience that we need to engage. Prezi is a fantastic way of engaging that. So as mentioned before, my name is Richard Speight. I'm the project manager for Connecting Learners, a Wolf project in Bangor in North Wales. You can contact us through Twitter at CL3 Project if you want to chat about what we're talking about today or any of the other web seminars. Use the hashtag #InclusivePraha, and there are some people joining us on Twitter this morning from Wales in particular. So I'm going to zoom into my presentation here. As I said, my project is Connecting Learners. We're a Wales Union Learning Fund project. We're organised by Unison, the large public sector trade union in Wales. Today's seminars are brought to you by the European Union's Lifelong Learning Programme, the Group PIG scheme, and this partnership project is called Inclusive, as Thomas described earlier. So we're going to zoom into my presentation here, which is hidden quite nicely inside our project logo. And first of all, we're going to talk about the benefits of Prezi, why you might want to use Prezi. Now, I've got a video here of a guy called Chip Connolly. This might work, this might not work. If it doesn't work, it's okay, we can skip on. It's 3 minutes long, and it's just Chip talking about why he uses Prezi and what he thinks the benefits of it are. I hope this kicks in and that you will be able to hear it.
talk, yeah, it was one of the keynote speeches, had 2,000 people in a room with people sitting on the floor. And it was really thrilling to actually use Prezi for that presentation. It's more dynamic. You know, it's sort of like the old PowerPoint. While it has, you know, there's a lot of familiarity with it. We can get really familiar and comfortable with our old sweaters. The fact is, at some point, your old sweater is just an old sweater. And I guess with this new book and it becoming a bestseller, there was a part of me that wanted to really dress up in a new outfit and just with something that felt a little bit more modern and also allowed us to go dive deeper. What people liked about it was it engaged them. They didn't feel like it was linear. You know, with PowerPoint, it's so linear, and it sort of feels like we're all in march step, you know, whereas in Prague, it's like, okay, where are we going now? The thing that most of us have the greatest fear about when it comes to speaking is that we'll forget everything. So the nice thing about whether it's PowerPoint or Prezi is it helps you have prompts. And the nice thing about Prezi prompts is that the Prezi prompts for me are a lot more intuitive as opposed to linear. You know, when I gave my TED speech 2 years ago, the big TED speech as a finale speaker on the TED stage, I was up there and it felt like a very linear speech. And it's not one of my favorite speeches. You know, 800,000 people have watched it online on the TED.com site. But it's still not a favorite speech of mine. If I had Prezi, and I could have felt like I was just moving a little bit more fluently, a little bit more flexibly, and a little more intuitively through my talk, it would have been a lot better.
So I hope that came through okay for you. Now I want to talk about our approach, the way that we, in Connecting Learners, use Prezi. Our mantra really is not to try to reinvent the wheel. Here we have a graphic representation of that. Instead of reinventing the wheel, we try to recycle things that we find on the internet or that we make ourselves, and we recycle them in our own special way. And hopefully this illustrates that quite nicely. When using Prezi, you're going to need two pieces of equipment, which are really important. It's an internet-enabled computer with a decent internet connection, and Flash player installed. The latest version of Flash is really important for running it. On top of that, you need a mouse with a scroll wheel, which is very important because when you're designing Prezis, to zoom in and out to get that effect and to work quickly, a scroll wheel on your mouse is very important. Mouse pads are not quite going to cut the mustard. For us, the key features of Prezi center around the ability to import media from other parts of the internet, from Google, from YouTube, also from your own machine. So when we look at importing media, from Google, you can get Google images directly imported onto your Prezi canvas, which is fantastic. You can also filter them to make sure that you have the correct licenses on the images that you use. With YouTube, you can get YouTube videos directly imported into your Prezi, like you just saw with the video from Chip Connolly. Or simply, you can import files, images, videos, PDFs, and PowerPoint presentations, and I think that's quite crucial. You can import your media onto the Prezi canvas. You can import your PowerPoint slides directly and then change and adapt the elements of your PowerPoint slides into a Prezi presentation. You recycle what you've already got, consistent with our approach. I think things you need to keep in mind with Prezi, we really do need to be mindful of the following things. How you're going to show the Prezi. So this presentation has been designed with showing in an online environment very much at the center. But nowadays we have to think as well about presenting on our mobile devices. There's a fantastic iPad app that Prezi produced recently, which allows you to show your presentations offline. So keep that in mind while you're designing. You should also keep in mind copyright. If you're going to show your work publicly, you need to make sure you've got the image rights, and any YouTube videos have the correct permissions on them to allow them to be embedded. We encourage the use of Collective Commons licenses. The image you can see on your screen now is an attribution share alike Creative Commons license, which allows people to use materials as long as you attribute where it came from, and that came from Ramberg Media Images on Flickr. Be aware of motion sickness. Now, the feedback we've had on Prezi is that by moving around the canvas too quickly, by zooming and panning, it can make people very unhappy, make them feel a little sick. So not excessive panning and zooming, and then you're not going to make your audience feel sick. And also think about the fact that this is a Web 2 technology. You can share it through your social networks directly. So share your presentations on Facebook, on Twitter, embed them in websites and blogs, which is really interesting and important feature, which makes these presentations more interactive. People can go back to them after they've viewed them, as you will be able to today. Go back and play yourself. I'd like to emphasize that there is a particular method of learning involved in getting used to Prezi, and it's all around play. If we don't give ourselves time to play with a new technology, especially a new web-based technology, we don't get the chance to learn the technology, to unlearn what we might previously have learned about using a certain tool or types of tool, and relearn that technology in the future. So a good example of this is Prezi itself, which recently went through a relaunch, a revamp, a new style editing tool, which when I first saw it I wasn't overly keen on. Over the last few weeks, getting used to it, playing with it, creating this presentation and others, I now think it's fantastic. It's a great development, and I wouldn't go back. So we need to learn, unlearn and relearn through play. I think that's really important. So for you to get started, the easiest way is to go to this web address, which is prezi.com/learn, where you will find instructional videos, short instructional videos and cheat sheets about how to use the technology. We're not going to show you today all the ins and outs of how to do it. We haven't got time for that. You can go and play and explore yourself, and I think that fits in with the overall ethos. So we're zooming out now, back out into the hall. Hopefully this audience is a bit more engaged. These two guys here don't seem that engaged. Maybe something else that they need. I think they're both having a bright idea here, and that bright idea is online collaboration. Hayley and I would like to show you online collaboration, so I'm going to switch off to Hayley now for the second half of this presentation.
Richard and Hayley, I will just drop in as a moderator right now. For the coming part of our webinar, it's vital that we record it in high definition, so give us just 60 seconds to prepare that, and you could continue then, yeah?
Okay.
thanks. Now we are recording. Everything that's going to be shown in high quality, and it will be included in the recording from this webinar. So Richard and Hayley, it's yours again.
Brilliant, thank you. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to share my screen with you so you can see what I'm doing. And Richard and I are going to make a Prezi together so you can see the process of working collaboratively. So first things first, you need to sign up for a Prezi account, which is really easy and simple to do. And once you're logged in, it'll take you to this page here. And this is where it keeps all of your old Prezis. So just scroll down, you can see some of my old ones. So we're going to go to New Prezi. And first thing you need to do is give it a quick title. And there is also an option to put in a quick description as well, but for now we're just going to leave it with a title. Okay. Seems to be working quite quickly at the moment. If you have got quite a lot going on your computer, it can run slightly slow. Okay, and the first option that we come up with is a list of templates. Now, most of these templates are for business use, but there are some personal ones on there as well, and they've got some really nice 3D ones too. So I'll just scroll down so you can see the kind of things that they've got. Okay, but for now, we're going to stick with a blank one for today. So click on that and choose. And this takes you through to your basic editing screen. Okay, so in order to get started working with Richard, I need to invite him to come and edit this. So up in the top corner, see that little button with the people on? You just click on there and invite to edit. And this will give you a link. So I just need to copy this, go back to my Google Hangout, and send that link to Richard. Hopefully that should come through to him soon.
I have it. 2 seconds. I will just copy that and paste it into my browser rather than click through.
Okay.
And
through that link, Richard can now come into my presentation and make any changes as we're going along. So in just a second or two, once he's come into the presentation, you'll see a little character pop up on the screen. And that will be Richard moving around the presentation. So there we go.
Okay, I'm going to switch my microphone off now.
Okay, no problem.
And because all you'll hear is me tapping and clicking. So I'm going to switch my microphone off. I will turn it on at one certain point when I'm going to explain a little bit about our project, but then I'll turn it off now and leave you in the capable hands of Hayley.
Okay. So now we've gone back to our basic editing screen, and this Prezi that we're making today, Richard and I both have different jobs that we're going to work on. So Richard is going to be doing the frames and all of the text and the pathway, and I'm going to be putting some images and media in. So you'll see here, as Richard is moving around the screen inputting his information, you'll see his little character moving around as he goes. So I'm going to start off by putting some images in, and this little bar across the top is basically your panel where you do all of your work. So I've clicked on images, and your two options are to do them from file or to pull them directly from Google Images. I've got a couple on my USB pen that I'm just going to find. Okay. It's just uploading my image now, as you can see. Okay, so in the middle of your image, you've got this little hand tool, and all you need to do is grab and move this around, and that is to move. And that is to move your image. And this blue circle around here, if you grab this and either pull it outwards or inwards, it will resize your image. And these little like zebra lines, this is for tilting from side to side. So I've got a couple of images to put in. So I'm going to hand you back over to Richard, and he's just going to say a few words about our trade union that we work with. So I think Richard just needs to unmute his mic, if he can hear me.
I do need to unmute my mic. Hi there, I hope you can hear me again. So our project is funded through the Wales Union Learning Fund. We are sponsored, we have a sponsor union, and this union, as I mentioned before, is called Unison. It's the largest public sector trade union in Britain, one of the largest unions in Europe. And we have membership within the NHS, our National Health Service, local councils, our municipalities. Oh, our project logo's just jumped in front of what I was writing, which is one of the things you have to be aware of. So local councils. We also have membership within private care homes. Again, Hayley, you've dumped a big logo right in front of what I was writing.
Sorry.
And that's absolutely fine. And we also work in the charity and non-profit sector as well. And Cartrefi Cymru is a non-profit care agency, and Cartrefi Cymru are the hosts of our project, and are the company with which the Inclusive Partnership is involved. So I'm going to draw a frame around our sponsor section, and I'm going to hand you back to Hayley now. I hope that's okay, Hayley.
Yeah, thank you.
And you can explain a bit more.
I've just got one more image to input from my USB pen. I'll just quickly pop that in. Hopefully it won't go right on top of what Rich is working on. Okay, so all the images that I've done so far have been directly from, as I say, my USB pen. But you do also have the option to pull them from Google Images. So again, if you just go back up to your pane at the top, Images from here. Now, if you're doing work on behalf of a company or an organization, you just need to bear in mind, as Richard said earlier, licenses for commercial use. But for now, just as an example, I'm just going to type in what I'm after, click search, and it'll come up with all my options just down the side. Then all I need to do is quickly scroll through until I find one that I'm happy with. Again, because it's pulling them straight through from Google, they can be a bit slow if you've got a lot going on your computer. So this is just downloading. And I think we've got quite a lot on the network today, so it's running slightly slow. I think we're just getting there. Brilliant. So I'm going to click OK for that one. Click it over here, resize, and just pop it exactly where I needed it. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to do is, rather than putting any more images in, I'm going to pop in a video. Now, all you need to do for this is you need to have your YouTube video open already. So you go to Media, and again, you can put them through from files. So if you've got a video on your USB pen or your computer, you can pull it directly from there. I'm going to go YouTube. Okay, now I've got my video up here ready and waiting. So all I need to do is copy, oh, no, sorry. Sorry, I'll just bring that back up again. Just need to copy the link, go back into my Prezi, paste it in, and that will insert your video. So again, just resize. Okay, so I think we're starting to get there. I'll just pull out so you can see what we've done so far. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert some shapes. I'm just going to put a quick couple of arrows in. Okay, and again, as I go closer, you've got the option to move them around, resize. Okay, so I'll just put one or two more arrows in, just so you can see the kind of things that you can do. We have a creaky window here. Just one more arrow, I think. Okay, and then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to change the theme of the presentation. So back again along your top bar into themes. Now you can pick any of these themes that have been pre-made, or you can make your own. But for now, I think we'll go for this one here. Okay, and you can see in the background it's changed all the colors and the text and the fonts. Now, one thing to bear in mind, when you change the theme, it changes the size of your text. So if you put images next to text, it might have changed the font slightly, so just double check the spacing of them. And I think we are almost done. At the moment, I can see that Richard is working on the pathway. Now, the pathway is kind of like, you know, in a PowerPoint presentation, you move from slide to slide to slide. It's exactly the same idea. The pathway will determine exactly what your audience sees as you're scrolling through your presentation. So I think we are almost done. Richard, have you got much left to do? Richard, are you there?
Sorry, Hayley, my microphone was on mute, so you didn't hear my clicks. I'm just going to pull a big overall frame over the whole thing, and that'll be both the first and the last stage in the pathway. Just hang on 1 second. Oh.
Are we done?
I tell you what. Hang on. Almost there.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. It's just a little bit slow.
I think I might change that theme again. It doesn't look quite right. So we'll go for a different one instead.
Okay.
Okay. Richard, is that frame sent to the back? Sorry.
It isn't, and mine's going very slowly now.
I think we've got quite a lot going on our connection at the moment.
Yeah. I'm just looking for it at the minute.
And the good thing that you'll notice is as Richard's character is moving around the screen, you can't see exactly what he's working on until he's inputted his final information, because you can have up to 10 people working on a presentation at the same time. So if you had everybody editing and you could see everything they were doing, it might be a little bit overwhelming, but with the little characters just moving around, it means that you know the general area that they're working in. I think we're there, Richard.
We're not quite. Sorry, Hayley.
No, sorry.
There's just one slide I can't get to work. You just give me a second.
Yeah, of course.
It's better to get it right than.
I'm still relatively new to Prezi. I've come to it in the last couple of months, and the thing that I found is that it's really intuitive. It's really easy to move around, and it kind of makes sense where the images are going to go and the buttons. And as Richard said, it's had a bit of a revamp lately, and I've got to say I much prefer this new version.
Okay. Hayley?
Yeah?
I can't get it to pick up the very last slide, which was an overview.
Okay, that's fine.
No, actually, sorry, that's not the case. It is doing the overview on the first and the last views. What it isn't doing is letting me put in. It's okay. I've found a workaround. If you give me 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or 3, 2, 1. I am now done. So.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to save. We've got a small button up here, and then this blue button is to present. So it'll take you out of the editing mode and into the presentation mode. And these little arrows down the bottom, you just click to go through. So as you can see, this is our presentation that we've just quickly made. Okay, so Connecting Learners, the project that I work for, we're a Wolf-funded project. We've got a little image just to demonstrate that. And you can see what I was saying earlier about the overlap between the text and the images. You just have to be slightly aware of those things. Okay, and WOLF stands for Wales Union Learning Fund. Okay, and here's some more information about our sponsors. Unison's logo here that Richard was talking about earlier. Okay, some more information about our partners. Cartrefi Cymru they're our host organisation. It's just a close-up onto their logo. Okay, and our funders, the Welsh Government. This slightly hazy picture here is the one that we pulled through from Google Images. That's the Senedd down in Cardiff, our government buildings. A closer look there. Okay, and this is our project logo, so Connecting Learners logo. And here's some more information about the kind of things that we do in our project. So we offer learning opportunities in topics such as literacy, numeracy, basic ICT, and confidence and communication skills. So there's our Prezi that we've just made. So I think we are done. So I'll just do a final save on it. Press the little exit button here. And that should, if my computer is running well enough, take us back to the home page. Okay, and you have all your options here to share it, save a copy, download it to wherever you need it to be. Okay, so I'm just going to go back over to the Hangout and hand you back over to Richard.
Hi, thanks Hayley. Diolch yn fawr iawn, as they say in Wales. So we've had some feedback on the presentation already on Twitter, and one person in particular, Alan Tomas, has mentioned the motion sickness problem, which other people have mentioned over and over again. I just reiterate that point, that it's okay to pan, zoom and twist, even to pan, zoom and twist at the same time, but doing it over and over again very quickly can give people a sense of nausea. So just keeping your content in scale, not having too much going on, is really important, and also providing people with that overview can set that in context. It's kind of like when you've got motion sickness in a car, you pick a point on the horizon. If you can get perspective, then the sickness goes away.
Thank you, Richard and Hayley. Tomas speaking again, moderating this webinar. It was an excellent example of how quickly you can produce in a collaborative environment something useful and nice looking. So thanks guys very much for this. Now we are going to proceed. To the second part of our webinar. So again, please let me share another window. So this is the presentation we have just seen, and let's move on to discussion. I know that there is a question posted under our YouTube stream, so let me check that. And I will read out. Okay, I will read out the question. All right, so I can see one of the questions. Does it cost anything to use Prezi? Richard, can you reply to this question, please?
Okay, so there's to use the basic online version, including the online collaborative tool and the editing tool. It's free, so there's a free version, which will suffice for most users. For educational institutions, there is an upgraded license which gives you more capacity and gives you some elements of personalization, your ability to put a logo in the corner of your presentation, etc. And there's also a pro version, which allows you a desktop editing and presenting tool, which can get around some of the online problems that are encountered through lack of bandwidth.
There's a connection speed problem. So just please, Richard, could you repeat the rest of your sentence?
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So the Pro tool can, which has a cost associated to it, is I don't think it's ridiculously expensive, but what it does allow you is a desktop program, an editing tool and presenting tool for Prezi, and many more features. Often when you go on the Explore section of the Prezi website, see some of the really high-end presentations. Those have been produced with the offline desktop tool. So I'm actually just clicking through on the Prezi website to get the prices for you, but they're pretty easy, pretty quick to find. It's $4.92 or $59 annually for an Enjoy license, which you can also get an education license as well. And the Pro license is $13.25 a month or $159 annually. But there is the free no subscription, no surprises license as well. So there's a license for all needs really.
All right, thank you very much. I might just add that if you work for a recognized educational institution, then it's possible to use Prezi in greater extent than normal free user, and the whole point is to have email address which domains belong to educational institution. So that's a simple trick that we all, I mean those who are teaching, can use.
Absolutely.
I would ask a second question that we got, and I would ask you for a quick response. It's from Paul Richardson, and the question is if it's possible to add a recorded audio commentary to a presentation in Prezi.
I have heard recorded audio. I think it's something that you need the offline tool to do. It is possible to use .gif files, flash animations, etc. In your presentations. So it's possible. There are workarounds involving recording something through YouTube, but it would be nice to have a direct Audioboo import, and the company is constantly updating and trying to add new features. So not at the moment directly.
Yeah, all right. The trick with YouTube, it's something that we use in our school as well. Simply upload your audio as a video in YouTube, and it works fine, no issue there. And the very last question for this part of our webinar, coming from Claire. Can you add animations and background music to Prezi?
Again, using the flash animation, you can. When I've tried it, it seems to take up a lot of memory and can really slow down a presentation. I think it's really something for somebody with a pro license with the offline Prezi desktop program. If you try to do it online and try to upload it online, from the UK with 15 meg broadband here in Bangor, it can crash the system.
All right, thanks very much. So that's all for this moment for Prezi, and thank you very much, Richard and Hayley here in Prague. Thanks, and I'll switch to the rest or the second part of our webinar. So discussion is over at the moment for this bit, and I will share again our navigation through the webinar, and we are progressing to the second part, which is about Moodle learning management system that is freely available to whoever wants to install it on his or her server. And our topic is levels of online courses built in this inclusive environment. Actually, I keep the floor for myself at this point because I kick off this presentation and hand over to Dominik in a couple minutes. All right, so another switch of the screen. Let me share that with you. And here is the second presentation of today, made in the old-fashioned PowerPoint, as we could see a while ago, nevertheless still worth hearing, we hope. All right, the key message of our presentation, although we are going to see a few more slides, is basically this slide. It's like an onion, and we read it from the bottom to the top. There are several stages or levels of online courses that we identified when building over 3/10 of courses in past 2 years in our school. Many institutions are using Moodle in the download mode, which means that students are allowed to get into the place with the course and then download all the materials that teacher has put there. Well, it's fair. Nevertheless, there's a long way up to virtual community, which is basically a online inclusive environment, or you can call it a social network within Moodle, when teachers and learners are collaborating, communicating together, making comments on each other's work, and simply using this learning management system as a normal social network, which purpose is not to have fun at the first place, but to learn something and have fun on top. The levels that you see in the middle, so step-by-step walkthrough, that's kind of syllabus that has full links to all the materials and some texts available for learning. And the third item, the third level, online work, offline meetings, that basically means that Moodle is used according to its name as a learning management system. That means that the interaction and the management of the course as such from the teacher is fully done online, so the communication about the tasks and assignments, grading, and communicating with students is done within Moodle. Basically, Moodle is everything the teacher needs to do all the teacher's stuff with his class. All right, so this is the beginning of the whole thing, and now let's have a look at the second concept of this presentation, and that is just find the ratio between face-to-face learning and distance learning, which is basically Moodle, that fits your needs. There is no point in developing a full virtual community for a course that doesn't need that. It costs time, which means money and a lot of effort. We can confirm that. Right in the beginning, you will save no time and no money by implementing e-learning environment. It's only about work and effort, and it pays off only after a couple of years. So just make sure that you pick the ratio that really fits your needs, especially when you can meet your students in the classroom, and then communicate with them online only on the certain topics. We will show you 3 example courses which have different ratios between face-to-face learning and distance learning. First one is language learning. Second one is a typical lecturing course, Power, Money and Law, which is sort of introduction to the politology, economics and law. And the third one that is in a mode of full virtual community and including the outcome of social networks into Moodle is mobile journalism that we teach in our school as well. The presentation is organized in a way that I will show you some overview slide and then screenshots right from Moodle, moving from English to Power, Money and Law, and then handing over to Dominik to show his course, Mobile Journalism. English basically means that we are meeting together with students in classrooms, and that they are getting their assignments partly online. As you can see, it is a basic structure of 12 to 13 weeks of normal semester, and the interaction is based on the feedback given within the activity in Moodle itself, and of course the feedback of how the learning was successful is in online tests built into Moodle. As you can see in Moodle, you can publish your syllabus right in the Moodle, and it's downloadable for anyone who's interested, which should be everybody, of course. Students can upload their essays right into Moodle, and it can be graded on the interface, and student gets the grading into his or her email straight from Moodle after the send button is pushed by the teacher. These are the examples of online tests. They can do online tests as a homework to practice up front, and then the final test, the tests, and immediately they see the outcome of the test, how many points they got. It's all automated, and Moodle will give them the final grade, and teacher just signs the index. This is just an example of how a handout, which means material to be downloaded, can look like in the interface of Moodle. So this is just PDF to be saved, printed, and used in the class, but students have that upfront in Moodle. And our English teacher included a video, which you might recognize, which episode of what this is. And of course, the final test online, just as I described a while ago. That's English, and now let's move on to the second course. That's actually mine. So the introduction to politology, economics, and law. This course is shifted more to distance learning in a sense that despite we meet regularly every week for 4 hours in our lectures, students have quite a few works to do online. The interface as a learning management system is fully developed, which means all the grading, all the tasks, overview of how students is progressing is available online anytime to students and to teachers. Actually, we are teaching this course in 3 people, and there is basically no further communication needed between us, as we can see what the other teachers are doing, if they graded the homework they said or not. We are posting information into forum, so I know what other teachers are communicating to students, if they are providing all the information needed, and all this interface is just within Moodle. What's important, I use online tests that are automatically graded as well, and data from these tests are available for further analysis. I will show that shortly. As you can see, the window itself is simply a study text with pictures and items to be downloaded. The course is built up right from the beginning. And what are the key terms of the lesson. Again, this is a full scan of selected chapter from literature. So basically we are making the excerpts from books available to students online, and they don't have to buy that. Of course, you never can scan the full book, but excerpts are okay according to Czech law. And of course, we are providing a full reference to the book that was used, and they can use this citation in their further work. This is a simple way how students are registering their topics for essays. There is a forum, just a simple forum with each line of discussion meaning one topic, and students are just replying in forum, and that means that they register the topic and they will write the essay afterwards. The benefit is that they can ask questions about the essay right in the forum, and teachers can answer those questions publicly. So if somebody is writing the same topic, he or she can read what the questions for the topics were and what the replies were, and you don't have, as a teacher, to do it again with every single student separately. This is the grading overview. As you can see, there are not many A grades, only B's and C's, and unfortunately some F's as well. Nevertheless, this is available to all the teachers in the course. Every column means an assignment or a homework that students were supposed to do. Each homework is graded separately, and it all adds up to final grading in the course. And this is the data analysis that I promised a few seconds ago. Moodle can provide, which is the Gauss curve that you see in the middle, can provide the outcome of the automated tests, and you immediately see how students are doing in your course, if it's okay or not. And of course, you can simply download the outcome of the test into Excel and make a couple charts to visualize what's the outcome of your curve of your course. And that's pretty much it for the introduction of Moodle from my side. So now I'm handing over to Dominik, who will take you through his course of mobile journalism, and even we will switch to Moodle and show you things online if there is some time left. Okay, Dominik, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Tomas. Welcome. Would put it. In that case, it's mobile journalism. This course was developed with the help of professional BBC journalists, and we're very proud of the course because it's really well done through. And I'm just teaching it, so I'm not praising myself here. Now, the point of the course, the reason why I'm showing you this is it's a fully internet-based course. We have never met actually with the students for the purpose of the course. Of course, we do meet on the corridors of the school, but not for this course. Now, the difference between the courses you've seen so far and this one is the virtual community. It has just one extra feature compared to Money, Power and Law, and that's Money, Power and Law course, and that's you need to set up communication at its highest standard, because communication, as we learned from yesterday's webinar, is key. If you say something once, it doesn't mean it really gets through. So you need to set up the communication on a regular basis, on a very good standard, and make sure that it really works as a community. As you can see, this course provides complete e-learning support. There's no face-to-face meetings, just online. It has seven topics, and each topic covers a single aspect of mobile journalism. The point of the course was to allow the students to go outside with just their mobile phone or a small camera in their hand, and still provide full or as close to full as possible journalist work and outcome. Now, this is an example of the course structure. Now, the point of the e-learning course where you don't meet with your students is you have to explain everything inside the course. If you don't give students explanations and detailed titles and kind of friendly word, it just feels like you come into the classroom, a real classroom, and you put some books on the table and leave. And the students rightfully ask, what are we supposed to do with these? Read them, scan them, study a chapter, 2, or is it just, what to do with that? They don't know. So you can see a lot of text. Well, the text that actually doesn't look like a link, that's the that's simulation of what you would otherwise said in a real face-to-face teaching. Welcome to the classroom. Here is a paper that I would like you to read quickly. Just scan it through and try to pick up the keywords, for example. So you just guide the students minute from minute through the test. That's what Tomas was talking about. It takes, excuse my French, but hell of a lot of time, really. And we calculated, just for your information, that one lesson for students to study takes at least 1 hour, of students studying takes at least 5 hours of preparation. Actually, at least. That's when you have it all structured in your mind already. If you don't, then it takes more, of course. And just restructuring your normal face-to-face lessons to online courses, which necessarily needs to be different, it also takes some time and lots of feedback and help from your colleagues, and includes criticism, positive criticism if necessary, if possible. Sorry, necessarily positive criticism, and that's tough as well. So it's I just opened the door to our last 2 or 3 years of what we are doing, really. So they are studying materials. There are lots of questionnaires to make sure that the students got the point. The questionnaires are not marked. They could be, but usually we don't mark them. It's just a little feedback that you would otherwise get from the students by just looking at their faces. Are they just blank staring at you, meaning, excuse me, no, I didn't get anything? Or are they nodding happily, smiling, possibly? You know, that's what the questionnaire is for. Now, then we have a common knowledge base. That's a great feature that actually opens up a collaborative environment where students put their inputs. They put their actually anything they want, because it's a database. So you could create as many fields as you want for pictures, videos, text, comments, essays, articles. That they can see each other's work and compare, and then create one big database that they can all use. The teacher can approve of the database. So before I approve, the students can't see it, meaning the students can't put in the students can't see other students' material which is not correct. When I approve, the other students can see it, which means I have a control whether, because this is supposed to be a peer-to-peer learning, right? Students learn from each other, and I just make sure that they're learning proper stuff, not any rubbish, or downloaded, copied from Wikipedia, then I just say, no, try to work better. And I don't allow that. I don't approve, and they can't see it. And of course, there has to be discussion. Now, discussion, which you may find like, of course, discussion, yes, that's an online feature that everybody uses, chat, Google Talk, etc. You would think that's not a problem at all. It is. The students, especially when they otherwise do meet at school, on the corridors, in other classes, they have no reason to go into the discussion in Moodle. It's not cool. They don't have their Facebook friends there, so it's kind of another discussion that they need to attend to instead of spending their time on Facebook or somewhere else. So you need to motivate them to actually join the discussion. That we found one of the most difficult tasks, to actually get them talking about the topic when I want, or about the topic that I want them to speak about. And so far we found only one way. We make the discussions compulsory. Not exactly marked. They don't get any marks for clever, witty comments or lame comments, but their attendance is registered. If they don't participate, if they don't participate enough, they just say then this activity is marked as not attended to, and they get slight penalty for that. It's a bit restrictive, I know, but well, the comments on YouTube are free for you to suggest better options, and we'll be really grateful if you could suggest better ones. Of course, we can outsource the discussion to Facebook, but then it doesn't stay inside Moodle, and staying inside Moodle means we can grade the activities, and all the grades are then incorporated into the final result chart that we need. Now that's one of the pages that coming back here. Some of the things you can see, like studying materials here. Logically, if you have huge page full full of letters, full of information. It would be kind of stupid to add an essay, for example, for students to read, or 2 or 3 pages copied from a book, and have them on the main page, because that would make the lesson very long, thus demotivating the students very much, because they would just open the lesson and say, "Whoa, it's 7 pages. No way, I'm not reading that." And you can imagine, you know, that would be everybody's approach. It's just too long. And as you can see, the environment, now you can't see everything on this page. Normally, what students see is on the left side. In Moodle, you would have lots of settings. On the right side, you would have a calendar and other settings and lots of. It's not a pretty environment to look at, but you can put studying material through a link, and if you do that, you create another page in Moodle which doesn't have all that rubbish around. It's just pure page, clean, nice, neat page with text. It's a digital text, so it can include any digital content like videos, pictures, SlideShare, anything. But it's another separate page which students read from top to bottom without being disturbed, without actually being distracted by anything else. And here is an example. That's what it looks like. That's a page that actually informs them about content management systems and how to use them in mobile journalism. There are examples to follow, and there are study cases that they can click on and follow, which are, of course, somewhere on the internet, publicly accessible pages of professional media, like I don't know, BBC, CNN, etc., to follow. Some of them look like that. This is actually examples of items to discuss, and here are the questions, as you can see right there. This is an example of the discussion that students may take, and if you want to participate, you just click. I don't know if you can see that, it's really small. Add a new discussion topic, they click and follow one of the questions that's there. So many times we are trying to give students choices, not just, you know, one thing to follow, but we try to give them choice to follow what they find interesting, if possible, because that's the motivation thing. Now, here is an example of a video, how to work with a video online. Actually, we don't have any students following that course now in this room, but this is a very good example of, now you're outside, you have just your smartphone maybe, and you want to take a very good video. That sounds like a mission impossible, but with a few tips from professionals, and the tips are right here, you can try and you can improve. And there is a video which is considered a good practice video with some comments below, which I'm afraid you can't really read very well, but they are very good comments, I assure you. And they really tell you what to note in the video above. Like, try to note the sound quality, you know, try to protect your microphone from wind, from the wind coming, etc., etc. So again, this is an example of how to make the teacher almost invisible, almost unnecessary to be part of the lesson. Now, of course, for the students in that particular course, we didn't have a final test, because that would be kind of stupid. How would I you know, grade them? How would I test their knowledge, whether they have become better online journalists or mobile journalists? So from the very beginning, they had a project in mind. I reminded them in every lesson, in every meeting, in every chat, every discussion forum, you know, try to get closer and closer to a final project. And the project is lightly described on the top left part, and then there are some specific features that I want them to cover. If they don't, I will probably, you know, be after them. Why haven't you done that? What about that thing? Why there isn't an audio report? How about Flickr? Yes. So there's the final project. Now let me switch to Moodle if I can. It may take a while, but that's quite all right. This is our Moodle. As you can see, I'm not sharing this. Sorry, my bad. Sharing it right now. There we go. Sorry, and I am teaching internet stuff here. I forget to share that. Okay, that happens. Thank you for understanding. Now, this is our Moodle web page. That's where students and teachers get at the very beginning. We took pains to put some icons in the very beginning, some quick access buttons for the students so that they don't need to navigate through. We actually replaced part of our information system with Moodle. It's a very good trick. It's just a secret we are sharing with you, really. You can get rid of the information system if you use Moodle correctly. So students not only get courses in Moodle, but also information about studies, information about library, the policy of school, etc., etc., etc. Now, moving to the courses. That's to the course that I want you to see, and that would be right there. That's the course I was talking about. And we need to wait a bit. Now, you may know about Moodle, but if you don't know, if Moodle is absolutely new for you, Moodle is not an application that runs somewhere on the internet. It's not like Prezi that runs on Prezi servers. Moodle actually runs in the server of your company. You have to install it. So it's not. You may argue, well, it's not this perfect. This perfect. It's not a perfect social environment because not everybody can join in, and you have to install it, etc., etc. Well, everybody can join in if you invite them, or you can have public courses, and it still simulates the social environment. Now, that's not the course. I'm terribly sorry. Sorry, there we go. This is it. Sorry, this is it. Now, we are using the mobile journalism course for another course, so the introduction is in Czech now, but that's the example of the course itself. So, there's a mobile journalism, breaking, social, and mobile reporting. You open the page, and there is an extra page, as I told you before, where students can read the content. It's really slow, because, as you know, we are now using quite a lot of connection speed. And although this is within our school, we still limit it. There you go. Plain text, simple, students read, go, yes, they go back and they continue in the course. Now you can have lots of media inserted in the course, just like here. Lots of media or lots of multimedia material inserted in a course. And still waiting, sorry. As you can see, there's a lot of multimedia content right there, lots of screenshots, but we'll have to wait for them to upload. Now this is how a sort of show me thing can work. Logically, this you would expect to do in the classroom with the students. All the students would open their computers, they will open the program, the software, and they'll start toying around, and the teacher would walk around and help them, and etc. You can, if you want, you can simulate that by uploading the screenshots, creating an instructional video, and inserting all of it within Moodle. Moodle can handle almost everything. Everything that gives you the chance to embed, everything that's embeddable can be embedded in Moodle. Just like these screenshots of how to use Audacity, one of the, I think, coolest freeware sound editing programs, etc., etc. You can insert videos, you can insert Prezi, just to get into the right connection with the previous presentation. But I decided not to show you these things because we would probably wait for a long time and it wouldn't run smoothly. So as you can see, that's how a lesson of using sound editing system may look like. That's what it may look like. Okay, I think that's all. I think our time is running out, and And that would really be all for now. I'll hand the microphone back to Tomas for the final word. Thank you very much.
And it's me again. Greetings to everybody who's listening to us. Let's close our session. Let's move forward. So thank you very much, Dominik, for showing us how Moodle actually is built up and how content can look like. And I take the liberty as a moderator not to do discussion in this webinar as we are slightly late for 20 minutes already, and we will reply to all the questions online in the YouTube comment stream, so don't worry, all your questions will be answered shortly. Nevertheless, we won't do it in this webinar. So thank you very much for attending. I hope it was a worthwhile experience to share your time with us, and we will publish in some days or few weeks the high definition recording of this webinar. And we would be really grateful if you could fill our feedback form, which you can find just below the link that you used right in the beginning, and give us feedback on how it went, what you expected, and if you are satisfied with the content and the quality of the recording. So goodbye to everybody. Thanks for attending, and see you somewhere, either physically or online again. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.